Hello, and welcome to Beyond Bereavement, The Power of Planning. My name is Beatrice Tony Bailey, and I am your television host and the author of the book, Farewell, My Friend. Farewell, My Friend was written as a result of the many lessons I learned while taking care of my late husband. I found out during this very stressful time that it's not a matter of if a person's going to have to deal with these end-of-life issues, but when and who. Beyond Bereavement, The Power of Planning is a collaborative effort between the Interfaith Service Bureau and its television station, RCC TV, and Eastlawn Memorial Park. It's the desire of these organizations that Beyond Bereavement, The Power of Planning function as a platform for interactive discussions between the various faith communities. Won't you join us? Hello, my name is Beatrice Bailey, and welcome to our show, Beyond Bereavement, The Power of Planning. Today's episode is a very interesting one. It's entitled, Yoga's Hard, but Life is Harder. And this is exactly what one of the owners of the Bikram Yoga studio of Elk Grove actually told me when I was telling her, yoga is really hard. She goes, B, life is harder. And it really is. So what we're going to do is that you're going to find out a little bit about the philosophy of this type of yoga. And in the studio today, we have two wonderful guests. We have Hillary Stein. I think she's one of the Steinmart heiresses. She says maybe not, but it's close enough. She's here, and she's the assistant manager of the studio. And what's the proper name of the studio?
Bikram Yoga, Elk Grove.
Okay, see, I wasn't too far off. And we have Jake Bowles, who is a student and someone who has had his own personal health challenge, and he's going to talk about how yoga had a positive impact on that. Okay, first of all, tell us a little bit about the concept of Bikram Yoga. I know it's called sweaty yoga, hot box yoga. You're going to actually see me in a little bit on some footage where I'm in the studio sweating like a pig. It's 105, I think it's 300 degrees in the room. Maybe not that hot. 300 degrees?
Not quite. Okay. 105. 105. So you took the class with us.
I took it twice.
So you remember. Mm-hmm. It's 105 degrees. It's a 90-minute class. And we do 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises. So it's set up in a way, these postures are set up in an order that they open up your body one after another. So by the end of the 26 postures, you've done a total body workout inside and out, compressing your organs, stretching your muscles, opening up your joints. So really, it's a total body workout.
Well, now, why the heat? 105, why couldn't we do it in a nice air-conditioned room?
There's so many reasons for the heat. I know it sounds crazy, but the biggest reason for the heat is increase the circulation throughout your body. So the heat dilates all your veins and allows more blood to flow through. When your heartbeat is racing during the postures, all the blood is flushing through your joints, flushing through your organs, creating a detox effect from the inside to the out of your body. And so then with all the hot temperature, you're sweating all this sweat and toxins out of your body. So it's really a good way to improve your health.
Well, it's funny because when I first took the class, and I'm used to, I've worked out for years, but not yoga, even though with my personality, I probably really need to do yoga. But it was interesting. I was really surprised. It was, once you get over the initial shock that the room is so dadgum hot, you do learn to adjust to it. But within the first 2 minutes, I was reaching for my water, and then went, no water yet. And when they do have water, it's called a party. So it really was interesting. Now, this is Jake. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a dude doing, Jake the dude doing yoga?
Yeah, I'm just a dude.
Okay.
I've been doing Bikram since 2005. So it's been 5 years.
Well, I mean, why not the gym with some weights, some, you know?
I don't know. I've never been a person to get into the gym or into that type of, assist situation, but I got introduced to this Bikram, and I tell you what, after that first class, I was hooked. I don't know why, but I was hooked. And if you stay away from it a little bit, you want to go back. Mm-hmm. It's something I've enjoyed immensely.
How often do you go?
I try to go 3 times a week.
Good.
Maybe 4 if I'm good, but depends on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It just as much as I can. I'd like to go more, but life gets in the way.
Yeah, life does get in the way. How did you become interested in yoga when you weren't counting your millions as a Steinmart heiress?
I was in college, and I read, I think, in People magazine that Jennifer Aniston or one of those other stars
Madonna or one of Madonna.
did the hot yoga, and I was like, well, she looks good, so I kind of wanted to look like that too. So I was really interested in just going to, tone up and get in shape a little bit more. But as I continued the practice, I realized how much it was helping me mentally and emotionally, spiritually, so much more than just the physical side. The physical side was an added bonus too, but really it was just helping me out in my life and in my mind. So that's why I got started, and that's why I kept going, because I saw the changes right away.
Well, we're going to cut right now. We want to actually have you have an opportunity to actually see a typical class. It's not really a typical class, because I'm kind of like the class clown in the tape. Let's take a look at the studio. Hello, and this is Beatrice Bailey. Welcome to this very interesting episode. It's entitled, Yoga's Hard, but Life is Harder. I'm here at a Bikram Yoga studio with Hillary. She's an internationally famous world galactic champion for yoga, and she promises to make me sweat like a pig. The room has to be 105 degrees. Pigs don't sweat. I will be sweating like a dog then. At any rate, Hillary, tell us a little bit about yoga. I know it's called hot box yoga, sweaty yoga. I don't think that's a technical name.
It's okay. It's called Bikram Yoga. So it's a 90-minute class. It's a beginner's class. So anyone can do it. You're never too old, never too fat, never too sick. That's his motto. Never too sick, never too old to start again. So we're going to be doing 26 postures today, 2 breathing exercises. You're going to sweat. It's going to get a little bit warm in here. So it's always a little bit of a challenge, but in the end, it comes out really well. You gain physical strength, mental determination. So really overall, full body workout, also inside and out, working your mind, working your spirit, finding that determination within yourself.
Now, when you watch me do some of these poses, don't you laugh unless you come in here and sweat with me for 90 minutes. All right, we're going to cut away. We have a wonderful audience here. These poor little people, we've descended upon them at the studio, but they're really going to be good sports about it. All right, get down the floor with me.
Squeeze your palms together, stretch more forward, and lock your elbows. Stretch your leg back more, carry V. Lock your knees, point your toes. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Take them back, arms over your head, arms down by your sides.
Now, I was a chicken this time around. I did not take the full class because I had an appointment afterwards, but I have taken the entire class. And even though I gritted my teeth the first 20 minutes or so, once you get into it, it really is, it's great. I couldn't do all the poses because I'm not used to doing yoga, but my balance is pretty good. So I was able to do a lot of the poses, but some of them I look pretty pathetic, but that's okay. People are very, very encouraging. It's like, it was a very warm family, atmosphere. And that, of course, with me being chatty Cathy, I got in there and I was talking. I was told to shish because when they first get there, they're sitting themselves, probably so they can get through the class. And it wasn't so bad because towards the end they do open up the doors.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Now, the reason that I found out about your studio, my stylist, because I don't have a hairdresser, my stylist, Carla Prayer of Inner Beauty, she went to the studio and she was telling me about some wonderful stories associated with different students that go to the studio that have dealt with life challenges, either the death of a spouse, a loved one, because usually a loved one, a spouse should be a loved one, cancer, other health issues. And she says it's really unique. These people keep coming back to this particular studio. Why? Do you guys have a beacon? Do you advertise for bereavement? I mean, why?
No, I don't, well.
I think it's a lot of word of mouth and people that you know.
Yeah.
I've introduced a lot of friends and family to it. Come on, it's try it once.
Mm-hmm. They're still speaking to you?
And then some of them still are. Yeah, and some of them have continued on.
Mm-hmm.
So but it's something odd. And I think the question is why do you do this? Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, I'll show you.
Right, right.
See how you like it.
Well, tell us a little bit about your story and your challenge. You had a challenge or two.
I had a challenge. Yeah, I had a challenge. I was in, like I said, I've been practicing since 2005, and this was after I had been diagnosed and went through with cancer and had went through radiation, and everything was supposed to be great and good, and I was introduced, like I said, by a good friend to go in and do this, and I got hooked.
Mm-hmm.
I got hooked with this thing.
But what about it hooked you? I mean, it wasn't the heat. I keep going back to the heat.
I think I got hooked because I wasn't hooked by the heat.
Right.
Maybe that you never get used to. I think you just tolerate it better as time goes on. I got hooked onto it because more of a mental thing. Mm-hmm. Settles you, and it really does. You have a little more perspective on your emotions, other people's emotions. Do
they have sessions? I mean, do they have you're too busy doing the poses and stretching. When do you have the time to do the meditation, or is that part of the class? You talk about it.
Yeah, it's all part of the class. I think one of the biggest reasons why this yoga specifically helps people through any kind of challenge in their life is because it's so hot and it's so intense that the only thing you can focus on is being in that present moment. Mm-hmm. You can't think about all the work you've done. You can't think about all the postures that are left to do. You just have to be in this one moment and just learn how to breathe. And I think being able to do that in the room can really translate, okay, I can do this. If I can do this, I can do anything. So you feel that empowerment. How important is the breath? Breathing, how important is that?
Very.
I mean, we need to breathe. We understand that. But particularly in what way?
It's been instructed to me, this is a 90-minute, open-eyed meditation. So you're going through the heat, the postures, the sweating, and what keeps you concentrated is on your mind. We have mirrors.
Right.
By the way, the studio has the mirrors. You concentrate on yourself here and breathe. Mm-hmm. Concentrate on your breath. Don't worry about the sweat. Don't worry about if you fall out or if you're not doing this right, or it's your attempt and it's your intent to keep doing this, and that keeps you going.
So if you're focusing on that, you can't be worried about the other issues that you're dealing with in your life. And I would think because of that, it would help them to maintain a different kind of perspective in your life. Right. What are some of the other scenarios for people that come to your studio?
Like you said earlier, we have tons of different people from all different walks of life. I just spoke with one of the students this morning about her experience, and she lost her husband about a year ago to cancer. And she had a really interesting perspective. She was saying that for a really long time, since she lost her husband, she was just afraid of being alone and afraid of the rest of her life, you know, and she said every time she came out of one posture called camel pose, which is one of the deepest backward bends that we do. She said she would cry after every single time she did camel, and she was saying that she really thinks that her body was holding on to that fear and holding on to that grief, and every time she did the posture, it helped flush out. She was saying the sweat was helping to flush out the emotion, and so now, you know, she's feeling so much stronger, and she was telling me, like I was saying before, that just she feels like, well, if I can do that, I can do it, and I'm going to be okay, and I just have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time, if that's necessary. So,
what kind of condition do you have to be in? Do you have to be like a, I don't know, premier athlete to do it, or I mean, you're laughing?
Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Anybody.
So if I weigh 300 pounds and I'm 5'3", I can do yoga.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the best part about this class is we always emphasize it doesn't matter what you can do, how well you can do it, or how beautiful these postures look while you're in the middle of them. You know, we're not in there doing a photo shoot for a yoga journal. Right. We're just in there practicing yoga, so it's kind of nice. You just do what you can, and as long as you try your best for your body that day, you're going to get 100% of the medical benefits.
I think it's important, the best for your body that day. Because there's some days you're going to hit it, other days you're not going to. You're not
Every
going
day's
to hit it.
different. Every day's
That's important. That's really important. I can remember when I told people I was going to do the hot box yoga, they kept saying, "Stay in the room. Just stay." I said, "What do you mean stay? Stay in the room. What do you mean stay? Try to stay in the room." And it is. And after a bit, and I don't want to scare anyone from it. I absolutely would do it tomorrow. Provided I didn't have to mess my hair up. No, I would absolutely do it tomorrow, because I really did enjoy it much more than I ever thought that I would enjoy. You get cute little clothes, and you don't care. You get all kinds of different bodies. You've got people in like bathing suit tops. You've got men in short shorts or whatever, and no one's looking at anyone. You're just trying to get your leg up. You're trying not to fall over. You're trying to do whatever. But I found it extremely invigorating.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the other? Because we had hoped to have more people here, but there's an ugly little bug that's running around, and a couple of people. We have some fallen yoga comrades out there, so we're going to tell some of their tales. Was there one lady that I'd heard whose daughter had committed suicide, or someone had committed suicide?
I don't think she committed suicide. I'm not sure. I believe that Carol's daughter. Do you know Carol?
I don't know.
I think Carol's daughter had cancer, and she passed away from cancer, and I'm not exactly sure how old she was, but I know she was a teenager, maybe 16, 17, 18 years old. So very, very young. And obviously it's devastating to lose anyone in your life, but especially losing a child. I mean, I can't even imagine that.
The loss of a child, we expect to lose a parent, we
Yeah.
expect to lose a sibling, or a friend or a spouse. We don't expect to lose a child, because losing a child is losing your future. It's like of all the deaths, if they had a hierarchy of deaths, the death of a child is the most traumatic of all of them. So
yeah, and so I just have seen her really become very strong, and just find that empowerment through the yoga, and it's tough. I mean, every day is tough, but also, I mean, the great thing about this studio, specifically Bikram Yoga Oak Grove, is just such a community.
it is.
And you go there and you just feel loved, and it's just like a big hug when you walk in the door. And so there's people there that just care about all of these people. And, a couple of months ago, maybe last year, they did a fundraiser for her daughter, and a lot of people from the studio went over there to the restaurant to join in on that fundraiser. And it's just... yeah, so the yoga helps, and the community is just another big part of it. I mean, anytime you feel like helpless or lost, just having that group of people, strangers, but that you can connect to.
Well, you're strangers with a common bond.
Exactly.
So, and it is a unique bond. But do you study any of Buddhism or any theories, or do people do it on their own? Is it part of the class, or...
No, I mean, that's the amazing thing is I remember after about a year of practicing this yoga, before I was a teacher, I was just, thinking back on the last year, and I was so shocked at how much spirituality, I guess you could say, I had gained without, no teacher had ever spoken a word about anything like that. I mean, you don't talk about that in class, and you get it from within.
Well, like what? Give me an example.
I would say just overall, just peace of mind.
I think, a peace of mind and sort of an inner self.
Yeah.
And you become aware of more things, too. and if I have not read a lot of books in any of the Bikram books, but I have read a couple other yoga books and just studied just different philosophies. But it's getting along with each other and yourself too, or yourself getting along with anything else. Other circumstances, other challenges, you adapt to it. In your mind, to not let it become overwhelming, because this is what we're trained not to do.
Right.
To stay in that room, you don't want to get overwhelmed, and this is training you to have inner calm and
really to condition your mind.
It's a condition.
Discipline.
It's a condition, which and I think that in my situation that's helped me out in my personal crisis of not to get overwhelmed.
Now, what else did you use other than yoga to help you through your crisis?
The peace of mind from my doctors that I was in good hands, number one. I had a cancer that was, according to my doctors, where this is the best cancer you can have because we can cure this. But after I did go through radiation, it came back. So it obviously wasn't cured.
Right.
So then it sort of kicked in like, oh boy, okay, so now what? But after learning that and knowing that I had to go through the chemotherapy now, looking back on it, I know I had been practicing yoga for about a year then. I knew I had a lot more of a better mindset to, I can go through this, I can get over this. Physically, it helped me out greatly.
Were you able to do any yoga during this time?
No, I sort of had to quit for a while. Chemo's rough.
Yeah, it's not a party.
It wasn't a party.
Right.
And
didn't give you the little chemo hat or anything like
no,
that?
They didn't do anything like that. And being my body was better physically, I know helped me go through that because it was put to me by my nurse through there that we're going to go through, I had a week session on my therapy that I had, my treatment. I had a week session, and they gave you 2 weeks off, and then you had another session, and I went through 4. And she said, after we're going to do this, and then we're going to come back, and we're just going to hit you with a bigger 2x4.
Right.
Each time.
Right.
And so by the 4th one, it was very tough. But yeah, going through that, though, I think I was better prepared for it.
But I think also, I just today's the first day that I have met you. Maybe I could have met you at the studio, but I was laying face down on the rug, so I wouldn't have recognized you. Yes, right, exactly. But you seem to be a very positive person, and I would think that would also help a lot.
It helps, yeah. To keep positive too. Don't let things get you down. And I think that's changed not just in my whole, in my life, in my just going through in my work and everything. I'm more calm. You know.
To the yoga?
I think so. Yeah.
Have any of your family members, anyone noticed that you're different?
I think so. Yeah. People have commented that you're a little more laid back.
Were you wound up before?
I don't think I was a type A person. You know.
Some of my best friends are type A personalities. Okay.
but I think I'm more. I am a little more centered. Put it that way. I think that's a good word for it.
What are some of the misconceptions you think people have regarding yoga?
I think that they can't do it, that it's not for them. They have to get in shape first, lose 20 pounds first, then I'll go. You know, I think that's the biggest misconception because, I mean, Bikram's whole thing, if you read his book, his whole motto is you're never too sick, never too old, never too fat, and never too bad to start from scratch all over again.
Now, who is Bikram? Who is he? I've seen his picture.
He's a man, so a lot of times people think Bikram's just a word, but he's the man, and he's from India, he's from Calcutta, came up with this series a while ago, maybe 40 years ago or so. Basically, in India, hatha yoga is used as a therapy, so they have it in hospitals. You would come to your yoga teacher and say, look, I'm having headaches, I'm having this, I'm having that, and they'd say, okay, do this posture, this will help you.
Just to free up all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess his story is that he was having too many people. There were too many people to help, and he couldn't help everyone. So he came up with this series of 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises that really help most conditions for most people. And so so that he could teach groups at a time, get access more people with the yoga.
Well, now, how long ago did he live? I mean, is he a 20th century guy?
Oh, he's alive. Alive
He's
and
still
living in
Mr.
LA, yeah.
Yeah, he's his main
Really?
office is in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headquarters is in LA. Yeah, he's
That's where
alive.
they go through the training.
Have you met him?
Yeah,
Yeah. She's been through
Yeah.
the training, so she has.
yeah.
Wow. You know, I just another subject. I figured Mr. Bikram Yoga was back
Yeah,
in
a long
the
time ago,
1730s,
yeah.
and
This
he
is ancient.
whatever.
This is
and
ancient
No, he calls
philosophy.
he grew up with
himself,
Buddha. You know.
Yeah. No, he calls himself Hollywood guru.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he wears all the bling and the suits and.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't wear the ceremonial robes and he didn't get that memo, huh?
He won't do that. No. No.
Well, good for him. He's helped so many people. Now, does he go on lecture circuits?
He does. Yeah, he'll do seminars and I think he travels a lot, so he's always
He's
traveling.
international.
Oh, is he?
There are Bikram studios all over the world.
Well, now, what do
Sort
you
of
do in
awesome.
order to become certified as an? Are you an instructor also?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I taught your class. Remember?
Oh yeah, but you didn't look like that.
No, I didn't.
Was that you?
It was me.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I mean, you stretched out. I mean, you were just like. Yeah, I didn't know that was you.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
you
I
had your
didn't
hair
have the
pulled back.
glasses
You had your
on.
hair pulled back. You threw me
You look a
off.
little bit different when you're sweaty and
Yeah,
in yoga
right.
clothes, yeah.
And I'm frowning at you.
But yeah, exactly.
Saying, what?
What was the question?
The question: what do you do in order to get certified?
Oh, yeah. So you have to have a recommendation from your home studio. Have to have practiced for at least 6 months, so you really know what you're getting yourself into. Pay the tuition. Go for 9 weeks. It's a teacher training 9 weeks away.
Where do you go?
Mine was in Acapulco. It's been in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah.
you went to Acapulco
It
and
was
Hawaii. Oh, poor baby. Were you able to go through it all right?
It was okay. I mean, it was tough, but I pulled through.
With all that sand and beach and everything.
Yeah. Actually, you don't have very much free time. You
Oh,
do
really?
2 classes a day, 2 Bikram Yoga classes, so that's about 3 hours if they're feeling nice. If it might be longer than that if they would just want to kill you a little bit. You have lectures all day, posture clinics all day. So it's a very intense training. I mean, a lot of other yoga trainings, you can just kind of get certified in less time than that, but they really want to make sure that Bikram teachers are the best and that you really know your stuff. You have to memorize the whole dialogue, and it's intense, but it's really...
the dialogue is associated with the different poses and whatever?
Yeah, so literally, it's almost like a script.
Scripted, mhm.
And you have to memorize it before you can graduate.
Yeah, because you went, since I can talk about you now, when we were doing the different poses, it was very, very fluid, and I found her to be extremely supportive. You know, if I was doing something, I was falling over to the left, that's okay, B, then stand in place. It's very good, okay, now bend a little bit more. And so I don't know how she's able to look at the various students and be able to take control of the class, but she'll say, very good, Carla, very good pose, Carla. Okay, you want to do whatever. But I never, ever felt embarrassed because I was a new student. She said, B is new to the class. We want to welcome B and she's going to participate in the class today. So I never felt, I didn't feel like a sore thumb.
No.
And that was very, it was really, everyone was so kind.
And that's every single class on our schedule is made for beginners. It's a Bikram's beginning yoga class. So everyone takes the same class. If you've been practicing for 5 years, if it's your first day, you're in the same class.
Are there other classes or advanced classes?
Nope.
There's just one class?
One class.
This is it.
I guess,
This is it.
and your improved skill level
Yes.
would come
Yeah.
about.
And over time, you improve. And it's almost like the more you improve, the harder it gets.
Well, would have to. I mean, because that makes sense, because if you really are maintaining the proper poses, if you really are doing what you're supposed to do. I work out at a regular gym, and I look at different people using the equipment, and I thought, you'll never get into shape doing this with the whatever. If you really, really do something the way you're supposed to do it, it's hard. It really is hard. And then as you learn more, you're going to do better, obviously, and then you're going to have a higher requirement on yourself, I would think.
Yeah, you do. You gain that all the time. You gain that, and that is your intent, is to listen to the dialogue. They're telling you what to do when you're just trying to do it better.
And you're not. It's not like it's not a team sport.
No.
No, you really are not even competition. You're really trying to be a committee of one to get yourself to a higher level.
Yeah.
Now, are there any kind of diet programs associated with the class? Can I go to Bikram Yoga then go to Fuddruckers and have a big hamburger? I mean,
No, there's no diet that's associated with Bikram Yoga. I think Emmy Cleaves is one of the most senior teachers. She's been teaching for 30, 40 years. And she said something at my teacher training that really struck a chord with me. She said, you know, when you practice this yoga, you don't have to give anything up. You don't have to give anything up. It'll give you up. So that, you know, that fast
Explain
food.
that.
Well, I mean, when you go into the room and you've had a big hamburger and fries and greasy food for lunch, you're going to feel pretty terrible. And we've all made that mistake. And you just don't want to feel that way when you're in that room. You want your body to feel good and efficient and healthy and happy. And so you just kind of, your body starts to crave the good things. Yeah,
the good things with the
Well, because if you do work out and you do get off your diet, or not even, you don't even want to be a diet. It needs to be a way of life, and that you do feel different. And if I'm working out on a regular basis, and usually I do, and that you then become aware of what you put in your mouth. It doesn't make sense for me to go to the gym and sweat like a pig for, even though pigs don't really technically sweat, it's a misnomer, but to go and sweat like this mythical pig for an hour and a half, and then go and have a gigantic plate of fried food. You can do it. It's just.
And you still can. You can go right ahead.
You still can.
And, you know, and every once in a while, sure, that's okay. But you could just get it in your head. It's, I have something different.
Yeah, I guess it's like anything else. It's moderation. It's moderation. Well, there's different types of yoga, and what we're going to do, we're going to break for a brief commercial message. I'm going to drag in my technical director, Owen Bridges, and he is studying to be a yoga instructor. He's not doing the Bikram, but he's learned an awful lot associated with yoga. So unbeknownst to him, I'm dragging him in after the commercial. So stay tuned.
My job is to meet with the families and coordinate everything to do with the funeral service.
I will assist you in many areas of planning the actual tribute that you will be offering for your loved one.
East Lawn has a reputation of honoring loved ones with dignity, respect.
East Lawn has been serving families in the greater Sacramento area at the times of their greatest need for more than 100 years. Our counselors provide the support that people need. They know what to ask. They help you secure a lasting tribute for your loved one.
We're honored to have the privilege of helping your family during your time of need.
We want to welcome you back to the second segment of Yoga's Hard, but Life is Harder. I have drugged onto the set Owen Burgess, and he is our technical director. He's the one that works all the magic. Once we do our filming, he puts it all together. But as if he doesn't have enough to do, and he has a lot to do, trust me, and that he now is going to be a certified yoga instructor. Yeah. Owen, talk to me.
Yes, it's pretty awesome. I met through meditation, actually. I took a meditation class here at Sierra College right here in Rockland. And my teacher, Bhavani Garrard, she told me about a yoga teacher certification that she teaches. It's a 6-month course where we meet once a week, spend all day doing yoga. And she teaches everything we need to know to start out at a beginning level. Mm-hmm. We get our first 200 hours of yoga practice. And
well, were you pretty limber? You're 12 years old, so you're probably more limber than I am. Maybe you're 13.
Oh man, I got so far to go. I did do sports, of course, played a lot of basketball and stuff like that, so I had a little bit of that going into it. But man, you realize how much injury you can prevent through yoga, so that's been fantastic. That's just one of the benefits.
It's funny you should say that. My son played competitive football for the University of Washington, and his knees got banged up several times, so his wife said, why don't you go to a yoga class? Yoga's for girls. Come on. She said, go to the hot yoga. So he went several times. It's really funny. The first time that was really funny because afterwards he went up and he says, hey, babe, that was really a lot of fun. She says, don't touch me. She was just like, don't touch me. She wanted to walk home. She was so tired. But he said after he did it for a while, he said the pain and the issues he had with his knees went away. He wasn't able to jog there for a while, but the pain went away with the with the yoga. There's a lot of junk in there that was freed up.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing for me was just the body awareness, because like before, I'd play basketball, do whatever, bouncing off of people, running into the, doing whatever.
You were 12. You were 12. You could do it.
Exactly. Yeah. But with yoga, it like taught me how to be aware of my body and really look into every aspect of, what's going on, understanding why the knee's injured and stuff like that. And
did it make you slow down? I mean, when are you moving like this when you play basketball? Or
well, it actually really made me think about the biomechanics and stuff like that, like how am I running or how am I jumping and things like that. Had to like focus on that a little bit more and do things smarter, more intelligently. And so yoga kind of gives you that awareness to slow down. Hey, look at what's going on inside, not only the mind, but the rest of the body and everything.
Well, now, are there very many yoga guys in your class wanting to be instructors? Are you just,
actually not. No, there's only one other guy. Yeah.
Oh, so you and how many ladies?
There's 6 ladies. So yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah, right.
I think it's going to happen. It'll change.
Right. No, that's good. No, it really
the balance will come back.
It is important. Again, with so many men that have been athletes, or just all men just about have done some form of athletics during their life. There's some exceptions, of course, but again, there's so many injuries that could be avoided by doing something that they may think as a girly exercise.
Right.
But all you have to do, any of the guys out there, you think yoga is for girls, take a class. Just
well, Paul Gasol and Shannon Brown of the Lakers, they do yoga.
Oh, do they really?
Yes, they do.
And they're pretty good athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they get paid for that, right?
Exactly.
Well, what type of yoga are you studying?
We're studying basically the hatha yoga, which is just the practice of yoga. And then I actually have 2 teachers. I have another guy named Richard Valdez. He does a specific style called Ashtanga.
Ashtanga.
It's a real focus on breathing and fluidity, and so you go from one posture to the next continuously. Whereas like with Bikram, you focus on one posture and then move to the next. This one, you actually just continuously moving from
the downward dog,
posture.
the lancer,
exactly.
the whatever, all the things. Yeah.
So more focused on that, and then the breathing in between each posture is really focused on too.
Do you have certain segments where you lay down? I've taken some yoga classes where you lay down and you just do breathing and then you do whatever.
Yes, do a little bit.
Now you told me when we were talking about this. I really knew he was coming on the show. We're talking about this. Tell our viewers about the turtle.
Turtle.
Yeah, why turtles live so long.
Oh yes, the turtle. Yes, the scientists have studied animal physiology, and they realize that the reason why turtles live so long, up to over 100 years, is that they breathe so slowly. It takes over. I think one breath is about a minute long. So just because they've slowed down the metabolism and everything, they're able to live longer just through breathing slower.
So if I slow down my breath, I would get 150 years.
Yeah, exactly. I can see it already.
You can say, right. I do. I feel younger. Yeah. But breathing. I think so many people breathe so incorrectly. So much of us breathe, with our upper register. I mean, if you stop and just stop. All right, all you guys right now, stop. Take one deep breath and let it out slowly. Come on. What do you think? Yeah, we don't breathe like we should. And when I'm tense, if I find myself tense, which is periodically I do, I will stop and I will make myself just breathe, because I realize I'm not breathing. I'm too busy doing my type A stuff. So it's really important to do something basically as breathing. Has that impacted your breathing?
Oh yeah, big time. That I think the breathing is what really gets you to focus on changing your whole the stuff that's going on in the mind. I think the original, I think it's from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. He says that yoga is the neutralization of mind stuff. So I think the breathing really helps you to focus on that. To focus on something besides all the craziness that's going on in your head, the chitter chatter.
Well, now there's the Western style breathing, which we mostly do, which is lungs, and then there's the Eastern style. Do you guys want to tell us the difference? Because I know the difference.
Actually, yeah, go for it.
Well, I'm not exactly sure Western versus Eastern style, but we
Yeah.
always say take deep breaths. Like when we are in Savasana, lying on your back, we'll always say feel your belly rise
Right.
and fall with your breath. So you're breathing very deep.
Because we mostly watch our lungs go up and down as
Right.
opposed to our belly.
Yes,
There's a
yes.
difference.
And when you breathe through your mouth and you're breathing very fast and up here in your chest, it actually signals that fight or flight in your body. So you release some adrenaline, some cortisol, and those are the chemicals in your body that make you go into that fight or flight. You know, I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, the response.
The response,
Right.
the response. So, you know, after a long time of having those chemicals in your body, if you're always feeling stressed, if you're always breathing up in your chest, it'll wear down on you. You know, you'll always feel a little panicky, a little anxious. So breathing deeper, it will calm your nervous system, calm your brain, calm your body, and really give you that peace of mind, peace in your body.
No, it's
And I think
interesting.
that's always something too, like you keep working on that. From the gym breathing
Right.
to the deep belly breathing, it's taken me a long time, and I'm still working on it
Right.
to do that.
Because you have to, you've got to unlearn.
You're
some bad
unlearning
habits.
something to learn another, but it is more soothing, or more. I guess the soothing.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the episode we had that aired last week on Buddhism, we had Tova Green, who is a Buddhist priest from the San Francisco Zen Center, and she had this wonderful bell. I'm going to get this bell, this goblet, a bowl or whatever, and she hit it and said, I want everyone to stop and just listen to this gong till you can't hear any other tone. And you cannot do that. Listen, we had to all be, but you couldn't hear a pin drop in the room. You had to wait, and it was probably just about a minute long.
Wow.
And it was amazing. I would think that would be able to be used in conjunction.
Oh,
And you
yes.
mentioned something about different combos that she made flowed naturally into your study of yoga.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because my other yoga instructor, Richard Valdez, he teaches our anatomy and physiology side of it, and he uses one of those same bells. Like at the beginning of class, he'll hit it, and just it like allows everyone to really get that single pointed focus before we start. And yeah, and then as far as the philosophy, I mean, yoga really came from ancient scriptures that Buddhism and the Hindu philosophy came from. So yoga has been around, you know, since before those religions started. So it's just a phenomenal tradition that fits right in with Buddhism and Hinduism and actually any tradition. I mean,
So you don't think
even-
it would conflict at all with any other religious beliefs?
No, not at all.
So if I'm a Baptist, I can still stretch and
exactly.
and do yoga. I can't use that as an excuse.
No.
We Baptists, we don't do yoga. We do casseroles. We don't do yoga.
Exactly.
So funny.
Yep.
I don't think religion has anything to do with it.
No.
It doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
it's just it probably couldn't help but to heighten your religion. I would think because you'll be able to clear up more of the gunk in your head and be able to have more of a purified
Yeah.
approach to what you're
you
doing.
become more aware of things,
Well,
or
it's,
their significance. And, you
Like
just
what?
say, I can't say a certain thing, but you're able to stop the monkey brain,
Right.
and have all kinds of different things going around to kick that aside, and you just center whatever you're looking at or trying to concentrate on. It's easier to concentrate on, you know, and get rid of the other side stuff.
Because we have so much clutter in our lives and clutter in our
and
brain.
distractions.
Yeah,
So many
absolutely.
distractions.
You're going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say for the Christian tradition, I mean, there's a great, where I forget the verse, but it says, be silent and know that I'm God.
Right.
And that fits in perfectly with yoga and meditation practice, where it's like you really are becoming silent. So.
Other comments?
Agreed.
On that topic, I don't have anything else to say about that topic.
Okay. What advice would you give someone if someone says, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do yoga. Where would I start? Would I want to start with the Bikram Yoga? Would I want to start with baby yoga? I mean, what would you stretching? I mean, so many people. I go to a gym on a regular basis, and my trainer right now is just working with me to stretch, because not that I'm tight or anything like that, but stretching, how important that is. I mean, where would a person start?
I really think any yoga is good yoga. I think people should find what works for them. Obviously, I practice Bikram Yoga, but like I said before, I mean, anyone can come into a Bikram Yoga studio and do it. You just try your best. And I think that's probably how it is with any practice. You just go in there, you try your best, and that's all you can ever ask of yourself in any activity or in anything in your life. You just try your best and see what happens and see the benefits that yoga has for you, because the benefits are there, and there's no chance of practicing yoga and not feeling those benefits happening within you.
Well, now, are there any, before I would do yoga, would I have to get a doctor's permit? If I've got hypertension, do you have to do any of that?
If you have special conditions, maybe. I don't think that a doctor's permission
I would think
is
with the hot room, would there have to be some kind of consideration? Of course, I guess if you flopped out on the floor, they drag you out and warm you up.
Well, and that's what we'll say. Yeah, we say if you're, when your first couple classes, you just take it easy. Just take it easy. Do your best. If you need to stand out, you stand out. If you need to sit down, and then get back in whenever you're ready. So it's no pressure. Nothing, trying to do things that you're incapable of at this time. You just try your best. So it's really, I can't emphasize it enough. It's just for beginners. It's for everyone.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's also other types of yoga that for people that maybe can't do standing poses. There's chair yoga.
I've heard chair. I was on vacation, and at the gym they talked about a chair yoga.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So there's really no excuse. I mean, anyone can do it.
Is there bed yoga? Is there bed yoga?
Yeah, exactly.
But in chair yoga, you use just a standard chair and you do different exercises?
You need a chair without arms so that you kind of have there's like the side bends and stuff like that. So the arms can sometimes get in the way.
Right.
So if you get a chair, a nice solid chair that you can go back and forth and you can do forward bends, side bends, back bends, you can do all this stuff. So it's pretty phenomenal.
And I know there are tapes available, or DVDs, you can see how up to date I am, but there's DVDs I'm sure that you can get that would have that. Does Bikram have I'm sure he does, I would think.
He does. He has a CD that you can do. I mean, the teachers you saw in Bikram Yoga, we don't practice with the class. We speak the whole time and watch the class.
But I saw you doing some poses. I mean, you did. I mean, you were straight out there and went, how does she do that without surgery?
Well, sometimes you'll give little examples or demonstrations, but yeah, we don't practice with. So he has a CD that you can buy and do at home, but it's really a lot better to come to the studio and do it in the heat. That's the best way to get your muscles warm, to get all the maximum benefits out of the yoga. So the heat it's the main element in Bikram Yoga anyway,
Well, the most important thing, I think, particularly for women when they participate in any kind of athletics, is the gear. Do you guys sell gear there? Clothes.
We sell clothes, yes.
Yeah. So what typically would you recommend that a person would wear?
Well,
I saw a little bit of everything. I came in with a long, heavy tank top and long pants. No. Long pants. I could work out at the gym. No.
Yeah. I showed up to my first class in big baggy college sweatpants and a big baggy t-shirt. It was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I would say it's at your comfort level. The least amount of clothes as you're comfortable wearing. Tight-fitting tops and bottoms.
Why tight-fitting?
Just so that, it doesn't get in the way. You sweat so much that sometimes if you're wearing a t-shirt or a baggy or shirt, it'll get wet and heavy.
Oh, right.
And then stick to you and just be kind of a distraction in your class. So.
Well, it's interesting, and people wear, you're right, just about everything. You see bathing suit tops, you see the short little racer bra things, and none of the guys. I haven't seen any guys with racer bras or anything like that sort. You don't have a racer. You don't have a racer bra. Okay, but no one's checking anyone out. I mean, you don't have time to be checking anyone out. If I'm too busy trying to stand up in one spot, you're not going, hey. It's none of that. Like you may feel in that kind of a situation. I was very very comfortable. But you sell the clothes at.
Yeah.
I saw for ladies. You have for men as well.
Mm-hmm. We do. We have shorts for men.
Well, now, what's the proportion as far as your students, ladies to men? I was surprised in the 12 o'clock class. There were a lot of men there, much more than I thought. I was really surprised.
Is that when you went in midday?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's changed over the time that I've been with Carrie. It's changed from, just a few guys, a handful. There's a lot of guys in there now, you know, which that's another misconception, and I think you touched on that. Oh, this is a girly thing.
Right.
No, it's not.
Because you look like you're in really good shape. You're nice and tight. You know, you don't have any, unless you carefully hit your bulges and all that. But has yoga helped you with weight, or do you not have a weight concern or whatever?
You know, I've never really had a weight concern. I go up and down a little bit, but it's really firmed you up. You know, you've got a lot more, you know, definition and tightness of the muscle than you had before, you know, and it's because of what we do.
Well, you're using your own body weight. It's not like using something.
Doing. It's
and
just
usually wherever you go, you can take that body with you, you know, and do it.
Yeah, and some of the postures I'm still trying to get my forehead to my feet. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I can do it with surgery. If they install ball bearings or something, I can do that. Or take the leg off, put it on my forehead, then put it down. But I'm sure with time I will do that. Even because you do the different exercises, you do groups of them. You know, you do the exercise and then you wait, and then you do it again. And with each succeeding exercise, I found myself being more limber, and that was just with one.
On the second one,
mm-hmm.
It's always a little bit easier.
I have an example for you. The other guy that's in our class, he has lost 60 pounds doing yoga.
Over what time period?
Over a period of 3 months. It's
Get out of town.
Phenomenal. Yeah. So it truly does.
Did he change his eating habits just because he's doing the yoga and you feel good about your body, you want to treat your body right and all that?
I think there was some of that too, yeah. I think because I remember asking him about that, he did have more of a focus on a better diet, so I'm sure that was a big part of it.
Oh, he's got to be like a poster child for the class.
Oh, yeah. It's phenomenal.
And how old a person is he?
I believe he's 23. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good that he gets a hold of it now.
Yeah.
And that, because as you keep the weight on over an extended period of time, we're asking for all kinds of different health issues.
Exactly.
And that. One aspect of yoga, and particularly your studio, is dealing with different aspects of bereavement. Is there anything special you all have done to help your students, or you want to speak to that particular topic?
I think and I'm speaking for any type of a yoga, and I've done a little bit of hatha yoga, but it's all, I think, getting back into the philosophies that you can overcome things. You can get by it if you just concentrate on in your mind to get to that point. And I think that's why we go through our practices as hard as they are, and they are hard, but you're going to get through it, and you're going to get to that point, and then the class is going to be over with, and you're going to be okay. You know,
well, it's a symbolism.
It's that type of a philosophy that you can do this. This is hard, but you can still do this and get through it. And granted, there's been a lot of people that have come probably through the class of all walks of life that have had different things go on in their life, either to themselves or family or friends, that would pose as a hardship, but you can still get through this.
I guess let's get to one pose. I mean, it's just like one step after the other. If you're going through, and goodness knows I've gone through a bereavement, the loss of my husband, and just to get up out of the bed, and to be able to maybe make the bed, and to get to the shower, that's a successful day. Then the next day, you've made the bed, got the shower, you went downstairs and you ate. Then maybe you walked to the mailbox. So it's just like concentrating on that particular item at one step at a time.
And I think something important to remember is that it can become easy to define yourself by the things that have happened to you, and define yourself by, terrible things in your life.
I am B. Bailey, the cancer survivor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not who you are.
Yeah, so it's it gives you your sense of you back, and you don't have to define yourself by these challenges. They happened, and you got through them, or you're getting through them, or you will get through them. And I think that's something really important to remember, and something that speaks for the yoga, that you don't have to define yourself by the things in your life. You define
and also
yourself
for
by
your
yourself.
studio, you've got so many real life examples in the class.
Yeah.
So if I just came in, I just lost my husband, you could come and say, you know what, happened to me 2 years ago. And, so you've got someone that gets you and gets what you're going through. So
support
I think is that is that unique to your studio, or is this unique to yoga? Just, I mean, that certain that automatic intimacy that comes by struggling to do the downward dog pointing archer backflip.
Well, I don't think it's unique to our studio specifically. I think yoga is just a way of connecting with yourself, connecting with others, connecting with the universe, whatever you believe in. It's a way to connect, and so yeah, I think that all yoga would speak to that.
Do you find that in your being a student teacher? Do you find that there's a certain intimacy that's involved in the group?
Oh, yes, very much so. I mean, it doesn't matter where you learn yoga or teach yoga, there's always some kind of community involved there. I mean, there are maybe some people that practice on their own, but still, in order to learn and take it farther, there's always a teacher-student relationship, and usually it's a teacher with a bunch of students, you know, and so there's always going to be that community. And like she said, also with that connection with the people around you, this isn't only going to be with the connection with the people in that room, it's going to change your relationships out in the world, you know, and it works on every level.
Well, and I would think that if you wouldn't took a class at her studio, there'd be that camaraderie that you would actually see, and then vice versa, because you just have that common bond. Now, is this the only studio that you go to?
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
I have gone to the. There is another Bikram studio in Stockton.
Okay, you can go to Stockton.
I go to Stockton
as long as you come back.
In a while. I come back.
Is there anything you'd like to add in closing? This has really been interesting, and we're interviewing people that are connected with the Bikram Yoga studio of Elk Grove. Anything in closing? We've got another minute.
I'd just like to reaffirm that, there's a great quote that I like to hear, that we're always right where we need to be to take one step beyond ourselves. So, yoga is great for that. It's a chance for everyone to improve in something, and anyone can start at that level. Like when I first took a Bikram class one time, and just the fact that I could stay in the room for an hour and a half was a huge success, and so on every level, it's just everyone's maybe on a different level, but they can start anywhere.
That's wonderful. We want to thank all of you for coming in, and tune in next week. We're going to have an excellent episode, at least I think it's going to be excellent, on the Episcopalian faith, which is a bridge between Catholicism and Protestantism. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.